Hassan Chop. What up, guys? Total Control 871. Who remembers when I bought the machete clearing brush for the camp, and I said that I hope I didn't end up Hassan chopping myself. Well, thank God, I did not injure myself while, swinging, thrusting the blade. While the blade was resting on something knee-high or whatever in my camp, it did become unbalanced, and it fell, and it stabbed me in the foot, in the near the heel, kind of like where the buckle is on my shoe. That's where it stabbed me. So yeah, I Hassan chopped myself. And because I do not have medical insurance, I had to resort to the aisles, to Walmart's medical aid aisle for some first aid. I purchased Band-Aid Neosporin, about $3, and I purchased some dermatologist first aid spray. I didn't know which was better, the Bactine or the Dermoplast. I really didn't know. The cut, it did need stitches, although I don't have insurance, and if you really want to, I understood that I doubt that I would have been turned away from the ER room, and the stitches probably would have been performed right there at the ER. I don't know, just call it another aspect to homeless and poverty. I just got sick and tired of being perceived as some, you just don't feel like being looked down upon. So I came here and I got myself some first aid, and that's all I pretty much would have done in the ER. Disinfect, stitch it up. I was worried, though. That blade wasn't exactly sanitary, and that's what I was more worried about. I watched the wound very carefully over the next coming days. Oh, God, I didn't know. I don't think I've ever had a tetanus shot, and I was very worried about infection setting in. Jesus Christ. If I had it to do again, I probably would not have skipped the ER. It's not wise. I'll probably go again. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but it wasn't a wise move to do. Should that infection have set in, tetanus, God only knows, that would have brought a whole nother world of problems if I was facing an amputation. I don't know why I didn't go. It was dumb of me. But what I am going to be doing, though, even though I will be seeking out medical treatment for an injury like that again, I am going to be putting together a medical first aid kit back in the aisles back there. They got like fishing boxes for cheap ones for like $5 to $10, somewhere in between. I'm going to get that. I do have some gauze already. I know, how terrible is that? I have gauze pads for cleaning my disc brakes. I've got alcohol. See, I think more about this bike than I do me. But I did have gauze pads already. So I'm gonna I'm not really gonna buy this stuff up here because I'll customize my own first aid kit. Get some bandage stuff. I definitely gonna want stuff for burns. Burn cream and what is this? Hey, this looks kind of interesting. Stop bleeding in seconds. I'll definitely be picking that up. What was it, $5? Yeah, so I'll definitely be coming in here, not this month because I don't have a whole lot left and I'm starting to run on fumes, but next month I will be putting together a medical kit for myself. You're at the camp, you're going to need it. Matter of fact, I'm also going to pick up a fire extinguisher at the, just to be safe, Yeah, so these are necessities. So I Hassan chopped myself, but thank God it all turned out okay. Guess what? This toenail clipper and this bike have in common. Right tool for the right job. I eventually had to break down and buy one of these things. They can be pricey. Although Walmart had it for a lot cheaper. I think I bought mine for like 15 bucks somewhere. I don't even need it for all of my toes. This toe on my foot, you know, the one in from the pinky, the nail on it started to get thick, and the nail bed started to turn like dark color, and then, you know, like a darkish blackish color. And like I said, the nail started getting really thick, and that was the only issue that I had on the foot. And well, other than, you know, the ankle, stuff like that. But the point is that I knew what type of toenail clipper that I needed. I was just pissed off. I didn't want to spend that kind of money for just one toe. You know, yeah, I knew. I guess I could have used it for the remaining 9 toes. I just simply didn't want to. And I kept trying to use the 99-cent clipper, and it actually just started making it worse. The nail started getting thicker, and the nail bed started getting darker and more black, and eventually, like I said, I broke down. I bought it, and the nail bed, the nail started to regrow nice and thin, and the toe started to turn nice and pink. So, right tool for the right job. And in case you hadn't pieced it together, yes, there are bicycles here that I could purchase micro fraction of what the Black Rider costs. But as we all know, those bicycles would disintegrate underneath me in a matter of days. It wouldn't. I don't even think it would be weeks. It'd be days. So it's why it's so important. Right tool for the right job. Hey, hey, let's go back. Let's go back to day one. Can you guys tell that I've been watching Mahogany? Yeah, we are going back to day one. Day one of my back injury. Yeah, I just realized I kind of did like a little play on words there. Back to day one. Like I said, I used to work for this very Walmart, and I was a cashier, and they had something called IPH, items per hour. After you got finished doing like a run on your register, like you sign into your register, you ring up X amount of guests, and then if there are no more guests to be rung up, then you sign off the register, and it would spit out this items per hour, and the optimal amount was 400 items per hour. And if you could ring 400 or higher for, I think, almost like a month, you got, believe it or not, and we're going back to like, you know, 93, 94, you got a 40-cent raise. That's pretty decent, especially considering Walmart already would hire you at about $1, $1.50 above minimum wage, whatever the minimum wage is at the time. Plus, you know, if I'm not mistaken, there were only 2 people in this entire Walmart that achieved the goal of ringing that fast. That would be me and a lady named Marge. Dude, that was fast. very fast. Ambidextrous. I would be finishing bagging the one person's order with my left and starting to ring the next person's order with my right. And I think at the end of my shift, I mean, they would have to bring out the cash cart just for me. Like during the holidays, they brought it out for everybody's cash register, because that's just how, you know, that's like a whole separate thing about how the economy has gone down. You know, they have to do like skims. They call them skims. They come and collect the excess money, cash money. I don't know if they do it anymore with money being so digital, you know. But my drawer would be the only drawer that they would have to do these cash collections on during non-holiday hours. You know, I would do something like maybe $60,000 in cash. That's not even talking what the checks and the charges were. But I remember the front end man, they call them CSMs, customer service managers. If she would piss me off, I would, by like, you know, not allowing me to have a break, I would ring my register so fast that I would cause the computer to crash. And I could do that. And then, like, when I would, like, sign off, because, like, you know, you got your receipt tape on one side and the detail tape on the other side. So, like, after my last customer, end of my shift, my detail tape would still be, you know. So it was like almost like robot fast. That's how quick I was. And I got a 40-cent raise for that. So that's a fairly, you know, for retail in the early to mid 90s, a 40-cent raise, that was nothing to sneeze at. Anywho, we are here in the pool section, seasonal pool section. No, I don't have a pool. No, I don't want a pool. Well, yeah, I would love to have a pool, but no, I'm here to talk about how I got my my injury. A very, very large tub of pool chlorine, you know, whatever you call it. It was like even bigger than that. It was like, I think it was like maybe like a 10-pounder. And because I was so concerned with keeping my IPH very high, and of course you're reaching over the conveyor belt. I'm very tall, so it's very craning. So there's more I could talk about that. When I got hired at the Hilton, and anyway, very tall, very craning, and I'm like used to just snatching items and like ringing like, you know, super fast, and I go to snatch just 10 pound at quite a distance away from the core of my being, you know, from your center of gravity. And yeah, it just like totally destroyed the back. I herniated the disc. I did not report it. I didn't know about things about reporting workers' comp, or I don't really know what workers' comp would have done for you anyway, because they specialize in minimizing injuries. They employ a lot of doctors that they're paid to minimize your injury, to report, you know. They go right up to the threshold of lying. They use a lot of terminology like degenerative disc disease. You know, the disc did not just simply spontaneously degenerate just as I was lifting this big, huge, you know. And also, quick side note on the opioid crisis that's sweeping the nation. One of their little stunts that they like to do is they overprescribe like crazy opioids. The doctors would get extremely angry with me when I would come for follow-up visits. They would be expecting me to be in a very good mood. What they don't understand, I'll spare you the details, but opioids, they don't work on my neural net the way it does regular people. I don't derive a kind of high when you hear about doctors excessively prescribing opioids, they are expecting you to abuse them. So that when you come in for your follow-up visits for your workers' comp injury, you're feeling great. You know, you're very amicable. You're very agreeable, and you agree that, you know, you feel good, everything is great. You might be operating under the premise that this doctor will continue to write these scripts for you, and you're going to continue to feel great forever. Of course, with me, those pills, they don't make me feel great. There's so much I could say about that. It has to do with the brain chemistry. Think of the opioid as a comedian, a big headliner. Dangerfield, Eddie Murphy, what was it? Wasn't it Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, whatever? Anyway, a big headliner, right? Ralphie May, and think of the opioid as that. And your head is the venue in which that comedian will be performing. Now, however good the comedian's material is, meaning however potent the opioid is, it's of no good unless you have an audience. The audience are your receptors. That's what the opioid latches into, and it makes you feel good. It's what gives you that feel. The hypothalamus creates these receptors. My hypothalamus, it doesn't create those kinds of receptors, so the opioids have like practically no effect on me whatsoever. There's a huge backstory to it, but I actually became extremely angry when I had a herniation injury, hiatal hernia, near my diaphragm. Hospital. This nurse goes to juice me up with what I assume she felt or she thought would be what I was looking for, because it was one of those nights where instead of fighting the addicts, you know, just give them what they want, because it was like a slow night, quiet night, and the nurses just wanted everything to just be slow and quiet, and, you know, and I was like the only person in there almost. And in her mind, she thought that maybe she was doing me a favor by, all right, I know you're just here looking for something, and because, you know, a herniation, it's not a gash, it's not something that can be seen on x-ray. So, and I became very angry with her because this stuff, it made me incredibly sleepy, and I could not lay down horizontally because I had an extremely bad herniation. It was incredibly painful. One of the worst pains I ever had in my life. And of course, because my brain doesn't react with opioids, it just simply made me sleepy without the pain killing effect. Basically like that. So anyway, but yeah, so that's a quick side note on your workers' comp doctors. It's how they function. It was their way of hustling you back to work ASAP. And they didn't care if they made a junkie out of you, you know. But the doctors, they'd get angry with me because they were expecting to see somebody on cloud nine. But unfortunately, I do not have a ticket to ride. And I'm afraid, you know, your drugs are, I'm immune to them. I'm immune to opioids. Dare I say... because I don't want to go into a whole what the bleep down the rabbit hole tangent, but there's a section in that DVD documentary that talks about how people are addicted to a wide variety of things. I've often wondered, is cynicism my first love? Is that why, you know, feel-good drugs don't really work on me? Am I a cynical bastard? I've wondered that, you know, does that have anything to do with it? But anyway, but yeah, that's what happened to me. It's how the injury first occurred, and it only got worse. Additional injuries. There was a diabetic dude. Target. He was like born with the juvenile diabetes, had an insulin pump. pump malfunctioning. You know, he's becoming extremely euphoric and then all of a sudden, boom, he goes out like a light, standing like, you know, right next to me. So I go to catch like 180 pounds, and I mean dead weight. And anyway, so that's what happened there. Ooh, what happened here? That's not encouraging. Like I say, people, right tool for the right job. You guys may have noticed that I was on the floor of the camp, of the tent there. And Ozark Trail, they do make a 500-pound cot. Unfortunately, this cot, it does not have something very, very essential that the Field and Stream does have. They do not have a cross stabilization bar. Field and Stream, they'll have like 4 loose bars. One bar goes here, the other bar goes there. It keeps your cot taut, and then 2 more in between our, you know, cross scissor legs here, and then the 4th one there. This Ozark Trail, they do have this extra, what do you call it? Extra whatever. You know, this stuff, like, you know, in addition to just simply, you know, just having just a cross thing, it's kind of like this. Also, in the midsection, it's kind of like something that kind of gives the cot an upward push, which is pretty good. It kind of helps the midsection from sagging, or should I say compensates the midsection fabric sagging, you know. However, what, am I in your way?
No.
Okay. However, it doesn't have the cross stabilization bars that Field and Stream does have. And that is extremely important, which I found out extremely quickly, because I had originally purchased it, set it up in the tent, and I'm talking, as soon as you go rolling over in the thing, the cot just rocks back and forth, you know, like long ways. The cot will just rock. And it's just, you know, we're big guys, so, you know, you will just end up, you know, rocking, and boom, collapsing. And it's a pretty long cot. It almost reaches one end of the tent to the other. And not only was I fearful of suddenly being thrust to the ground, but more importantly than that, if the thing would have like rocked and lunged the other way, it could have ripped the fabric of the tent. And can you imagine something like that happening? Dead of night. In the dead of night, you're miles and miles away from a store to get another one, and oh my god. So oh my god, summertime too. I mean, we can put a whole pin in the winter thing, but that means the first hull breach, every last single insect in the world is going to immediately come in. I mean, they pretty much camp out on the netting anyway. So yeah, they had a good idea with the midsection, you know, upward push thing. They had a good idea there, but they definitely needed cross stabilization bar to compensate for the cot rocking to and fro. You know, so there you go. Best thing I ever purchased. Bushnell 300 lumen. They so got this thing right. This thing is awesome. The battery lasts for quite a while. This thing will give me about, I'm gonna say like 3 days, or should I say 3 nights of power. Now maybe I'm only feeling that way because the The nights have gotten quite a bit shorter, but it does, because I am very much indeed an insomniac night owl, and without me even really realizing it, so many times I have, like, you know, stayed up all night. Next thing you know, I see the sun is coming up, and I'm like, you know, where did the time go? And you know, like 3 nights straight, you know, I'll have that thing on my forehead, you know, just burning for like anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. So, yeah, the Bushnell, it saved so much money in batteries. Excellent price, $30, definitely. The charger cord, it's built into the unit. I've heard mixed reviews on this because it doesn't detach the charger cord. It's built into the unit itself. It can be a smidge cumbersome. Not a lot, you know. Actually, you know, I take it back, because unless I'm up there feeling for it, I really don't know that it's there. And you never have to fight. I call it my electronic spaghetti. It's like a bag that I have of just all my charge cords. It's like this huge, you know, wires and wires of spaghetti, an amalgamation of charge cords. You never have to dig through it to find your correct charge cord for that particular item. So yeah, that is definitely pretty good. See, it doesn't actually have a handle. It's just like a bunch of paracord twined up. You know, these, which were not here on our hooks when I was shopping. Although I don't know, you know, if I would have lost control. This feels kind of, it looks, I haven't even touched it yet. Let me see. Yeah, it's kind of plasticky, like that has some slip to it. It is a textured grip, but you know, I think does that mean the tang comes all the way through this thing right here? I don't know if it's a full tang or not, but I don't know, maybe it's mixed blessing that they weren't here. If I would have got it, would I have lost control over it? But yeah. Anyway, the rest of the stuff that I got, oh my god, this is the biggest ripoff ever. Luggable loo. You know, you put it on top of your five gallon bucket, you know, generic 5-gallon bucket. It works, but it should not cost $13. You know, no, that's like $5 tops. I mean, that's the biggest ripoff that there was. I've seen some hacks. I've seen somebody, Seth Bike Hacks. He took a pool noodle and he cut it long ways, and you know, and he kind of put it around to create a seat on the bucket. I needed that lid to do some other things as well as be a throne. But yeah, it works, but it just simply was a big ripoff. It shouldn't have been $13. I'm considering this rather than the battery only, dual power. It's not really good to I mean, the Schumacher, it could charge rechargeable D-cell batteries, but for those of you who don't know, X amount of power gets wasted in the conversion and the transfer of power. It's much more energy efficient to be able to plug directly into the Schumacher. You know, well, it says AC adapter included. I've noticed that on the Schumacher, the USB ports, the same items now. I can do like a USB, like I can go to charge both of the GoPros, okay? both of the GoPros plus the spare batteries, utilizing the 4 USB ports. Okay, I can do it that way, or I can switch on the AC, plug, and plug in like a USB strip and charge all off of the USB. And it's highly, highly inefficient that way. You put a serious dent into the Schumacher's power by going with the plug. Serious dent. Anything really. Once you plug into it, it loses a lot of efficiency when it comes to that plug. But I am thinking I'm gonna try this out. I'd like to look at me talking about. I'd like to optimally have 2 of them, one for exhaust at one end, because we saw the I got the mesh vent netting at the base of the tent, and that's on both sides. It keeps the airflow going really good. And I'd like to have one for exhaust and one for intake. So like I said, I don't need air conditioning. Just simply keep the air moving. If you can keep the air moving, then I'm good, Oh my God. I can't believe they have the air conditioning on already. I mean, although it's been turned down now because it's been nothing but shit weather. Nothing but rain. But yeah, before the rain started, I was like, oh my God. I can't believe how cold it is in this store. Holy smokes. The morbs. Morbidly obese. I say that fully acknowledging the fact that I myself am clinically defined as morbidly obese, but the typical Walmart shopper. I'm being so discriminatory. I ought to be ashamed of myself saying that. But what can I say? Walmart, they know their clientele base, and they know that their particular demographic of shoppers. Lord Almighty, can't believe it's so hot. Lord, it's May and it's hot already. No, it's not hot already. Maybe if you, I don't know, were less sedentary, break a sweat. I once had a young kid too. He was like high school age. Sir, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, I'm just saying because you're sweating. I'm all kitted up. Bicycle right there. Yeah, I know. I've been riding a bike. I was like, oh, I don't know, because I don't really do anything that makes me sweat. Do I need to say anything more right there? And this is our next generation coming. They don't do anything that sweats. And that's, oh my God, I totally want to blanch off right now on a whole millennial food trend diet. Haven't you noticed? It's all about deprivation with these people. It's about just simply not eating. Not eating. It's almost like they say, I fully acknowledge I don't have self-control to control sugar, to control carbs, to eat the things that are correct. I don't have self-control to, personal ethics and religion aside, I don't have the ability to control my meat intake, so therefore, I'm just going to live a life where I don't eat any of that stuff at all. So if I don't have to, it saves me the effort of monitoring the intake. It's kind of like that. But yeah. Where was I going? But yeah, I'd like to try, I might try it out. We'll see. They can take batteries too. It'd have to be rechargeable. And maybe I can recharge them when I go to one of my cafes and have a charge session. But yeah, people they're reaching for their air conditioners already. I'm like, holy smokes, it's not even summertime and you are cranking the AC already. Are you nuts? It's not even warm yet. I haven't felt it be warm yet. I don't know, but hey, I'm a cyclist. I'm a cyclist. You know what I'm looking for? The ice scrapers with the brush for brushing off the snow. I need that to clean out the floor of the tent. I do indeed track in, like, you know, pine needles and everything else, mulch and whatever else is down there. The tent, I know it wasn't going to be tall enough for me to stand completely up, but I do find myself hunched over quite a bit, and it would be much more better to just simply be on my knees when I sweep the floor of the tent. And I don't know, to do that in the most effective way, I want the ice scraper with the blade of bristles, you know what I'm saying, to like sweep the floor of the tent. And I think I'm just simply out of season. I don't know if they have them or not, but it's kind of what I'm looking for. And I want to keep the floor of the tent as clean as possible. I also got to get a kind of a mat for the Black Rider to roll in on, because it tracks in a lot of shit. So other than that, something to clean the floor of the tent and to let the Black Rider rest upon, to sit upon when it's inside the tent. So, all right, I'll let you guys know how it all works out. I'm gonna leave you here, and so there you go. It was just a quick review of some of the products that I have been purchasing thus far. How they've been working. How do they work for the homeless? You know, what's working, what's not working. I do want to get some of these squeegee drying towels. You know, they're little droplets of water and stuff that are on the inside. By the way, oh, I almost forgot to give a huge plug. That tent spray silicone, it worked primo. And I'm also, once all this rain abates finally, like early next week, they're saying it's going to finally abate, I want to clean the outside of the tent, give it a nice wiping down with something like this, you know, a nice chamois. And although I don't know if I'm gonna pay eight freaking dollars for that seems a bit much. But I do need to clean the outside of the tent. It's got a lot of tree jizz and all the pollen and everything. So the dirt, the pollen, the everything, clean it off, and then give a fresh coating of our silicone sealant. It worked wonderfully well. Everything beaded straight off, you know, just rolled right off. Awesome. Yeah, it worked really well. So that's what I'm working with here today. I will catch up with you guys next time, and until then, keep on fighting the man, fighting the system. Next episode we're going to talk about the Texas shooting. We're going to talk some more about politics and stuff like that. Trump, hey, I told you, Giuliani, he is definitely trying to take the wind out of Mueller's sail in terms of federal indictments. He is trying very hard to just simply make Trump out to be a philanderer. We saw him talking with Cuomo for like almost an hour. Chris Cuomo. You know, it's not a crime to lie to the press, so that's why Giuliani is talking a bunch of crazy talk. He's just out there, he's doing a lot of spaghetti strategizing, just taking a bunch of crazy stuff, throwing it at the wall. He's vetting a lot of possible routes that the defense wants to go, because they know they're going to have to eventually sit down with Mueller, and they want to. That's Giuliani's whole strategy right now. Let me just try. He's trying out, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't be surprised in all these television interviews with Avenatti, Giuliani, and the whole shebang. Mueller's fingers are in the media. I wouldn't be surprised if he very quietly and covertly supplies the media with questions, things that he would like to ask the Trump team. off the record, because, you know, like you said, you can lie to the media. You can lie during a media interview. So that's all that's going on right now. Both sides are test driving each other, and they're using the media to do it. All right, guys, that's it. Total Control 871.